Bring him on in here. There he is. Jake Owen, everybody. There he is. He's got some donuts in it. Come on, we're on the air.
I'm told I was not supposed to bring food in here, but
We allow it. If
they're hot. I mean, they are perfect.
Look at this
It's
guy.
not gonna mess up that old ass board.
Bring a donut. I saw you take a shot at my board on Instagram too. Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah. We're on the air, by the way.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Not that
That's
you
what I'm here for.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you. Listen, I've been complaining about my equipment for years.
I know. I was just trying to throw you a bone, man. I thought maybe if somebody saw that thing, they might say, yeah.
Jake Owen
Even other
says-
people noticed that it's that, you know.
I'm getting a whole new studio. When I signed my last deal, one of the deals was,
Want a new board?
yeah, just a board. That was a parking spot and a board. That's all I wanted.
What's up?
Yeah, everybody go. Hey, besides
Everybody
Jake.
looks good.
Hey,
MC FDIC over there. Yeah. Like to see that going on.
Amy, say hi to Jake.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, Jake.
Good to
Hello.
see you.
You too.
Let me see.
I mean, I can't really see you, but.
There he is. There he is.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Hi,
there.
hi.
Amy's
hi.
on a screen and Jake is.
Yeah.
See that.
Here, let's listen to this one.
I might not end up in the Hall of Fame with a star on a sidewalk with my name or a statue in my hometown when I'm gone.
This is down to the honky
That
tonk.
feels good, doesn't it?
Gonna name their babies after me. It might not go down in history, but I'll go down to the honky tonk.
I remember when you played this the first time live in here.
I got a girl.
You played. You played this before you released it. You came in and
did.
played a whole concert, and
I
we were
did.
like, "That's the jam."
Thanks, man.
And
People, you know, I've released a lot of songs, and you always hope that they're going to do well because you believe in them when you release them. But you always know a song's going to do well when you start getting random text messages from people. And this song, out of all songs I've released, I've had more fellow artists in the format that I never hear from that text me. They're like, "Good song, man." It's almost like I've done the same thing. You hear someone's song and you text somebody, you're kind of like, why didn't I get that one? But I was pretty fortunate to come across this song, and I've always been a big fan of great country songs, and I think this is like the perfect mixture of a classic sounding song with kind of a modern flair to it. So it's cool to have it out. Thanks for playing it, man.
I might not end up in the Hall of Fame.
Video's cool too, huh? You guys did that downtown?
Yeah, that was a long video night. We started filming at, it was a Friday night. We started filming at 7 p.m. and didn't finish till 7 a.m. They kind of do the overnight thing so they can shut down Broadway down there.
Why
So,
does a video take so long to shoot? 12 hours, is a long time.
there's a lot of people involved in making a video happen. I mean, everything from, you know, the people actually shooting the video, obviously, to people making sure that people that are shooting the video are in the right place. I mean, it's like anything in life. You gotta have a bunch of team players doing the right things and making it happen.
How many times you have to sing that through doing a video, you think?
I don't know, 20, 30 times, just kind of.
And have the same energy every time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, you know, we're entertainers, and this video will live forever. So it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like, you better be ready to do it. You can't just dial it in.
Do you turn it up? Do you
I think I was, this conversation with this song reminds me, because I was shooting American Idol and you texted me the song, and I don't listen to music early. Regardless of who sends me stuff, you're like, dude, listen to the song anyway. And I was like, I'm not going to listen, but the day it comes out, I'm going to listen. But then I cheated and listened anyway, and I was like, dude, that's really good. And I was nervous because that's a classic. You had to be nervous. It's a
I was
classic.
really nervous. I mean, I wasn't nervous at the fact that I've always had a strong intuition on the songs that I feel like will be they'll connect with an audience, and I knew it would. But at the same time, too, I respect the integrity and artistry of a guy like John Mellencamp, and my main thought process was, I just hope this doesn't offend him. And when we got his approval on it, and he said that he loved it and thought it was a great idea, and it really is an ode to him and his music and that song. It was pretty validating. So, and then now to know that it's a #1 song, even validates it more. Although I haven't heard from him.
You know, I wonder, that's one thing. I wondered if he reached out to you after it went #1 or if he even knew.
No, no, I'm sure he knows. But I actually watched, there's a Netflix documentary on John Mellencamp, and he admits that he's not a very outgoing, talkative person. He talks about when he first got big, he was living in New York City, and he said he walked outside of his apartment, and there were people out there waiting on him, and he thought to himself, I don't know if this is for me. Because he said he always made music just for himself, and it's one thing to be that way and kind of not be talkative to people and kind of converse with them, but it's another thing to actually admit it. And I respect that. If you're that kind of person and you admit that you're just not comfortable being around fans or talking to people, I at least, he's not holding back.
I wonder if you would have said, nah, I don't like it that much. Would you still put it out?
No.
You wouldn't have.
No. I really, again, I mean, I respect anybody's artistry and the integrity for their own music. Not even just the artists, songwriters. Sometimes a songwriter write a song and somebody gets a hold of it and says, I want to put this out. But if the songwriter's like, I don't really know if I want my song going to that person.
Oof, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one, right?
It's a tough one. Oof. Well, there's that one. Okay, let's do another one. How about, this one here? Made for You.
This is my favorite song I've ever recorded.
I love this song. I've told you that.
Yeah.
I posted on my own. I mean, I love this song.
It was like your song of the day,
dude,
man.
like song of my life. I want to be able to sing this to somebody. It's one of those.
Yeah, this I've gone through some, like we all have, we've gone through ups and downs in the love life. Love is not easy, but when you can find the person you're made for and you absolutely know that positively, there's no better feeling. And I feel like I'm on my way there, but I also see that in my parents. My grandparents are still married after 75 years, and I think it's not a fairy tale. It's out there. It's just a matter of finding it.
Let me hear this again, because I love this song. Made for You from Jake Owen.
And I was made for you. Yeah, I was made.
That sounds good.
You can sing a love song, because my other song, like this one here, I love Anywhere With You, and it's a little more up-tempo, but I still feel it.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing about love songs, is that they're all over the map. I mean, you have love songs like He Stopped Loving Her Today, all the way to songs like I Like It, I Love It, I Want Some More of It. I mean, love songs kind of encompass all different feelings. That's what love is. It can pull your heart around.
Here's a love song.
That American country love song.
There you go. There's another one. There's the up tempo.
We're just going up. We're going up with the tempo.
Yeah.
Trying to take a chance.
You know what's kind of cool sometimes? I say this very humbly because I'm so thankful to have all these songs. And I've been working at this for a long time, but there's nights during my show where I remember the days where I was like counting down to a song in my set list where I was like, thank God people are going to know this one. And now I'll be in the middle of my set list. I'm like, damn, I got some hits now, man. It's fun to go down your set list and go like, whoa, I'm not going so many songs in between songs that people actually don't know, and it makes the show a lot more fun.
This one here's, this is your legendary jam that you have to play your whole life. Is this one?
Oh yeah.
Your whole life. This
Whole
one.
life.
There's nothing you can do that will get you away from the mega of this song.
Yeah, but I'm proud of it. I mean, that song changed speaking of my life, it changed my life. I'd had a record deal for 7 years, and that song was my first #1 song, and I had 4 in a row off that album, and that kind of spawned a whole new life for me and a whole new perception of who I am, what I do, and I'll always be proud of that song.
I still love this song. Like when it comes on, we'll play in the dance party, or we'll play it, or watching you play. Still, I go, I love it. Yeah, like we do, like
So
us girls
good.
do at the club. Yeah, and we run a DJ plays there, so I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Let's see if we have any more up here. I want to this one. How does this one make you feel?
I love that song too. I mean, I tell you I'm always pretty honest about anything and everything, and I don't have any songs that I don't enjoy. I take that back.
Okay, now we're talking.
I take
What
that
song
back.
do you not like to play?
It's not that I don't like to play it. It's just interesting to me that a song, 8-Second Ride.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Oh,
Come on!
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
you do.
so good.
Give me that song. Put that song up, because we played it one morning and Jake texted me and was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I wrote that. My twin brother, we just had a birthday 2 days ago, and I was 19 in college, and he was so mad at me. Speaking of love songs, because I would write those because it seemed like it was just easy. It was a way for me to express my feelings towards the female gender in a way that I couldn't say it just specifically out of my mouth. I had to use a guitar and a melody to tell a 3-minute story. And my brother was like, man, stop. He's like, write something for me and my friends that we can turn up in our trucks. And my brother used to spit dip all the time. And every time I get in his truck, he would have that dip cup sitting there with a little, like a napkin in the bottom of it where he'd spit in it. And there was just like this 2 inches of just saliva. It was disgusting. And he would always say, watch out, man. Watch out for my cup right there. Don't knock it over. So in that song, it says, climb on up, but honey, watch the cup that I've been spitting my dip inside. And it's
Do you ever sing that? Do you sing that song live?
every night, and it's one of the
Oh, you
biggest
still
songs.
play it?
It's one of the biggest songs I play every single night. People love this song.
I love this
But
song.
this isn't. I have a hard time sometimes because it's not necessarily my persona. Like I'm not. I don't.
Here, hold on. Shh.
Come on! Yeah! There it is! Do you know how many times? Do you know how many times it's like in the studio? I was like, all right, give me that again. Give me that again. I was like, come on!
So you did it a bunch?
Yeah,
I love it.
3 to 4.
I always think though, and I wrote about
It's a
this.
jam track.
It's a
though.
jam, and I wrote about my last book. If you're not somewhat going, ooh, I don't know how I feel about the older stuff that I did, then you're not growing in a different direction.
Totally.
If you're still like feeling what you did at 19, then you're still kind of 19.
Yeah, and that's part of life. You got to grow. You got to look back on what you did, and dropping names is not something that I like to do, but I do think.
Whoa!
Name drop! I knew you were gonna do that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But it wasn't like I'm just using his name as a name drop. Not that he said this specifically to me. I heard him say in an interview one time that Vince Gill said, when you record music, it's a very powerful thing that lives forever. So when you record a song, you better be prepared for that thing to live forever and play it forever and be okay with the fact that people are gonna either accept it or not accept it. And he's true. That's a very true statement.
Jake Owen's eating donuts as we're hopping on the air. He just
yeah.
asked permission to eat.
I've never been so happy in like the last 2 to 3 months. For the last 3 years, all I've done is like
Everybody's
try to
eating
eat healthy.
You
and
look good though. You look thin. Are you thin?
I think so.
Yeah, you do.
Well-
What?
Well, so now I have a question about the donut and the need for the donut. Like,
Well, I don't-
if
I feel-
you've been on that healthy track. What's up? Like,
Well, I
you're just-
think it's all everything. You have to balance it, right? Like for the last 2 to 3 years, I thought the only way to really get in great shape was to just like worry about everything I eat and go hardcore and everything. And now it's kind of like I just treat myself to whatever I want, but then I get back to
Treat
eating nice.
yourself.
I don't worry about it so much, and it makes me mentally happier. You know, there were days where I'd just like look at someone next to me driving in their car eating like a McDonald's French fry or something, and I thought to myself, I want one of those so bad. I'm just trying to look good right now. And then now I just run through McDonald's if I want to. You know what I mean?
And now
Live life,
I
like-
appreciate that method if you can control it. I can't control it because if I have one donut, I have the whole box. I'm like, I had
That's
one,
why I brought a whole box.
but I don't eat. I can't touch it because I'll eat it all. You probably have a moderation gene in you.
Not really. Do I? I don't really know. I feel like if I don't know, the minute I started enjoying myself doing the things that I enjoy doing, life seems to be better. You can't just always like beat yourself up, you know?
But you can. Look at me,
Oh.
for example.
But you look good, man.
See? Exactly.
do.
No, thanks. I'm just kidding. Jake Owens here. Hey, I want to ask about the show. So you're doing the show on USA called Real Country. Just kind of tell me what that's about.
So Real Country.
He's eating a donut. I'm gonna
Yeah,
let him
no.
Let him
Yeah,
I was
swallow
making
it.
sure I
Here,
didn't get anything
no
on
big
your
deal.
nice studio in here.
Our new
I
studio.
was told
Hey, our
very.
boss is in here, by the way. Say something about our studio to him.
Rod, this board is pretty sweet, man. Like,
Say your
he's
real
gonna
thoughts.
punch me in the face.
Say your real thoughts.
Don't you love how clean they keep it in here too?
Hey, isn't this place a dump?
No, man. I mean, no, it's not. It's not. It's not a dump. I can't say that it is.
Jay trolled me on Instagram, Amy, because the studio is so old. He trolled.
I've just heard you I've heard you drop that this. You're like, can I get a board in here that works? And
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So I just figured I'd come to the rescue. You
the
know?
legendary Jerry House used this exact board.
Yes, and you're right. He's a legend. And I was in the same studio back in the day talking to
To
Jerry
the same board.
on that same board. But if it makes you feel any better, I mean, I was listening all the way down here, and every time, I mean, your shows. That's why you guys are doing what you're doing, man. It sounds good. Let's
Dang,
just leave
okay,
it there.
okay. Well, listen, enough about this board. Talk about Real Country on USA, this show. When does it come on? What does it mean? What's it do?
I believe that Real Country is going to air November 1st. I think. No, November 13th. But it's been an amazing experience so far. Here's what I'm excited about. Let me start by telling you, Real Country is a television show that will be on the USA Network. That is not a singing contest. The contestants have all been. They put in their what's the word I'm thinking of? They auditioned, I guess, by sending in videotapes. And then we kind of narrowed them down to each one of us who we liked, right? Each one of us has about 6 different contestants, myself, Travis Tritt, Shania Twain. And it's a showcase. We're just giving them the opportunity to step on stage and sell themselves. Here in Nashville, as any one of us artists throughout the years, when we got our record deal, we were trying to get a record deal, I remember going to 12th and Porter here in Nashville, and it was time for me to do a showcase that night. And publishers would show up, other record labels would show up, radio people would show up, and it's at that moment, it's your if you have the people there, it's at your point to sell yourself. And that's what these kids are doing, and guys and girls. And we're just kind of panelists giving them our advice on what we think they should do. The great part about the show is that it's strictly focusing on country music. I think right now country music is reaching all different boundaries, and the doors are open to anyone and everyone. And obviously Travis and I and Shania come from all different types of backgrounds, and we have a lot to offer to these contestants, I think, to give them our advice.
So it's more of providing a spot for them to actually show their talents, to see if there's a career for them, more than it is a competition.
It is, because all these guys and girls that are on the show are already doing something. They're already touring. They already have fans. Some of them already have record deals that just haven't been on the radio yet. And it's a way to just help elevate their status.
November on USA, it's called Real Country. Jake Owen, Shania Twain, Travis Tritt. You got to spend any human time with Shania? Do you guys talk?
Tons.
Yeah?
Actually.
What's that about?
It's amazing. I never knew Shania until we started the show, and we went to a dinner one night, and it was 4 hours long. We sat there. It was just Travis and I and Shania and a couple of producers who, by the way, they started The Voice. So I find it very flattering as a country artist in the format right now that they're putting so much emphasis behind wanting to take country music, which is already to the mass appeal, but to a way bigger audience. And that dinner that night, we talked about that, how excited we all were. I mean, because I'm looking at Shania like, why are you doing this, you know? And she doesn't have to do it, but she's there because she brings a lot of knowledge. When she came into the business, she wasn't necessarily country to people, right? But now she's revered, obviously, as one of the greatest female artists of all time in this genre as far as sales. And she has a lot to offer. And Travis comes from the background of the outlaw country style thing, being friends with guys like Waylon, Johnny Cash. The stories he has is amazing. And I, as you know, I have a huge admiration and affinity for classic country music, but I also love modern music and the blend of where we're going. So we kind of cover all bases, and we're able to offer great opinions to these artists. We're not judging them. We're not there to tell them what they did right or wrong. I'm there to lift them up, because I wouldn't be where I am if people hadn't lifted me up along the way.
Jake Owen's here. I like to look at my playlist sometimes and see what song of people's I've played the most. As I pull up your list, what is your favorite song of yours that you've ever recorded? And you're like, man, this is my favorite one.
Made for You. It's not out yet, but hopefully one day it will be. You just played it.
Well, Made for You exists, but it hasn't been a single yet.
It hasn't been a single for the masses to hear. But it's interesting when songs that haven't been singles are already coming back to me through the fans as songs that they're gravitating towards and they love the most.
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorites. So Alone With You is my most played song of yours.
Wow. Yeah, that's another great song.
That's a jam.
I've got a lot. I released a single. Sometimes releasing a single doesn't always make it a big, well-known song. I released a song called "We All Want What We Ain't Got." It was shortly after I got
Travis Meadows, dude.
Travis Meadows. Shortly
Such a
after I
good
was
song.
divorced. Yeah, and I remember just listening to that song, thinking to myself, I remember kind of overanalyzing why perhaps I might have been going through a divorce at the time, and my little girl living in Florida, and thinking, is my passion for this business and working so hard, is it also negative for the fact that it's taking me away from my real life? And so I talk to my management and stuff about this all the time. As hard as we work on our business and our life going forward in this industry, we need to also pay just as much close attention to our own personal lives and put that much emphasis on it as well. Because if you're happy in personal life, you can be happy in your business. And anyways, that song kind of tells the story of, no matter where you are in life, we always want more. And sometimes you just got to look around, because there's a line in there that says, I wanted the world until my whole world stopped. And I think all of us have kind of felt that way a time or two.
You did a great job with that song.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
I remember you playing it on piano. We were in Dallas at maybe the ACMs or something, and you came out in a full suit and played it on the piano in front of a rain crowd. We waited like 4 hours because it kept raining us out.
I did.
Yeah, and you came out and crushed it. Yeah, it was good. Man, you really did that song great. Jake Owen's here. Anything else we haven't?
Dude, the podcast has been going great. Thanks for that, by the way.
Your podcast has been going. Yeah.
Well,
you've been killing it.
Well, I hope so. I hope that it's showing that people are listening. But I'm just, from my perspective, being able to kind of talk to fans and people out there that are listening on a totally different level than just through music.
Yeah, tell me about the podcast so you can download. Tell them the name of it.
So I have a podcast called Good Company with Jake, and it's really, I have so many random friends and people that I enjoy talking to, but I really enjoy the act of positivity. I like promoting positive things, and I've talked to everybody from my grandparents on this podcast that have been married for 75 years, talking to them about how they did it. I've talked to my trainer at the gym that used to be, he tells you he was a fat kid growing up, and he was embarrassed and he was bullied, and now he's just in super great shape, and that's what inspired him to do what he's doing. And then the other day, I was supposed to talk to a friend of mine. He and his wife found out they were pregnant 16 weeks ago. I was so excited for them. They're going to be the greatest parents. And then 2 weeks into their pregnancy, she found out she's got breast cancer. She's 30 years old. And they're dealing with that right now. And so I'm talking to all kinds of different people about their life experiences and how they look at life more positively. And I try to do the same. And not only do I enjoy talking to that and giving it to the mass public, I also like it for myself. It's almost therapy for me. So I've really enjoyed it. It's great. Check it out.
Yeah, check. It's called Good Company with Jake Owen. We usually play some of it on our show too. We'll find clips and play it because it's
cool.
You do a really good job on that thing.
Thanks. The other day when they couldn't do it, my friends Ted and Jocelyn, I'm gonna talk to them soon. I didn't know who I was gonna talk to that day, so I talked to myself. I did.
I saw that.
I did.
I had to do it all the time. I'm nuts. You're not as nuts as I am.
But I didn't realize how long I could talk to myself for. And it's one of the few podcasts that I've really seen a big response to, where people said I really enjoyed hearing that because you were really vulnerable, and to hear that side of you is pretty cool.
Look at you. Oh, let me mention this. Jake, coming up. Let's see, September 7th, Champaign, Illinois, at the State Farm Center. September 14th, all our friends in Sacramento at Rayleigh Field. Fresno, our friends in Fresno, September 15th. Colorado Springs, September 21st, and Ogden, Utah. Playing all the baseball fields.
Yeah, we're about to wrap up this first leg of the Life's What You Make It tour with my buddy Chris Jansen, who's just such an amazing. I just saw him walking out of here. You guys had him on. Just an amazing performer. He knows how to get out there and deliver his show, and he's a great artist. I was proud to see he just got some CMA nominations. He's well deserving for that. Jordan Davis is out on the road with us, and we're about to wrap it up and then hit the arena side of the tour, continuing the second leg of this tour. Have Morgan Wallen out with us, and I'm excited to have David Lee Murphy on the road with us as well.
Dude, I'm happy for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, lots of things are rolling. Appreciate you guys helping me get there.
Anything for Jake Owen, Amy, before he leaves? Anything on your mind?
Nothing. I love how he's feeling about his podcast. Like, I definitely need to add that to listen to more. And now I want to go check out the one where he just talked to himself. Because that's not easy to do, and I'm sure it's awesome. And then, yeah, I'm adding it to my podcast list. You sold me.
You sold her.
Thanks, Amy.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah,
More
good to see you
success
guys.
you.
Thanks
We'll
a lot.
see you soon. Jake Owen, everybody.
It's a Bobby Bones show.
Hey.